Hello and welcome to the Avicii Arena here in Stockholm, Sweden to kick off the 2025-2026 Champions Hockey League season. I'm Lindsay Hamilton, and today we will determine which teams will play each other in the CHL's regular season, the first stage of the competition, which begins on August the 28th. We are entering our third season with the current competition format adapted back in 2023. And this change has delivered tighter games and more excitement than ever before. As the competition continues to bring together the best teams across Europe who will battle to become the champions of Europe, let's first remind ourselves of some of the best moments from last season. Some fantastic memories that many in the room remember vividly, I'm sure. And joining us now to look back at last season, I'm joined by Monica Reinhardt, Chief Operating Officer of the CHL, and CHL President Jürgen Lindgren. A pleasure to have you both with us today. Jürgen, let's start with you, because we know last year marked the 10th season of the Champions Hockey League. What was your experience of the milestone year?
Yeah, but you can see the pictures or on the TV, the film, the games that rolls up when they lift the trophy. It gives you kind of goosebumps, I would say. And I would say in general, I would say the new format, as you said in the introduction, made it really competitive. We had all the way into the last round of the regular season, we had actually 8 open spots for going into the playoffs, which is great. That was actually the purpose of the format. And I would say, in addition to that, of course, the final, as you could see, it's really great to go back in memory and see the 12,000 screaming fans in the Swiss Life Arena together. And then on top of that, the home team wins. Sorry for that, Färjestad, but it's always nice to have the home team win.
Absolutely. The fans are passionate here, aren't they? Yes, European fans are something special, Jürgen. All right, well, Monica, to celebrate that special occasion, we know the CHL unveiled a new visual brand identity before the start of the season. So what was it like to see that brought to life across all arenas, and how would you say it was perceived by both the clubs and the fans?
It was amazing. So we put a lot of effort into that. It was months of preparation, and then when you see it in live in the arenas and also on the digital channels, it was just a great feeling. The feedback was amazing. So the clubs, but also the fans and the media perceived it very well. And I think it should be something eye-catching, something for the younger generation. And I think we have built something that lasts now for a long time. And yeah, I'm very happy with it.
We want everyone to love the sport of hockey as much as we do. Now, Jürgen, we know last season was filled with nail-biting moments. We had tight battles during both the regular season and in the playoffs, ultimately ending in what was an absolutely incredible final. But reflecting on the year gone by, what would you say was your personal highlight?
It's difficult to have one because there's so many occasions, but I would say it's 2. One is when we actually had one of the Challenger League teams, Sheffield, going into the playoffs for the first time as a Challenger League, actually, which also shows that the gap between the big or the major, or whatever you call the leagues or the clubs, has and I would say the other ones are closing a bit, meaning that the sportive competitiveness, and they go all the way into the playoffs. That's great. And of course, again, coming back to the final, that's always the highlight of the year. I know our season where you can see the team lifting the trophy, and especially, again, the home team wins. That would be great.
And it's a beautiful looking trophy, isn't it? Now, Monica, it's always fantastic to see spectators from different countries across the different arenas. But how satisfied would you say you've been with the audience development over the last few years?
I think if we consider it as the CHL is still a startup or kind of a startup, we are only 10 years old. Of course, we are proud of the anniversary season we had last season. But the development is there. We are very happy with it, especially with the last season. We had a plus of 16% in attendances, which is quite a big gap to the season before, and we see big groups traveling. So, for example, we had 1,200 fans from Hamar traveling to Karlstad for the game there, which is just amazing. And I think you see there how much also the fans love this European adventure, and I think that's what CHL stands for.
You hit the nail on the head, a European adventure. Well, Jürgen, Monica, thank you so much for your time. We will see you a little bit later on in the draw. Can we have one more round of applause for Monica and Jürgen? Again, thank you for your time. Now, as we get closer to the draw, let's take a look at the pot allocations for this year's 24 teams. We have 4 pots in total, each containing 6 teams. Which team goes in which pot is calculated based on the strength of the national leagues according to the CHL ranking system, and the team's results from their recent domestic seasons. Because ZSC Lions Zurich are the reigning European champions, the Swiss National League gets a 4th team in the draw, with 3 clubs coming from each of the 5 other shareholder leagues. The CHL champions, together with the domestic champions of the 5 best-ranked leagues, feature in Pot A, where those teams will be drawn last, with the teams from Pot D being drawn first. This season's draw features teams from 12 different countries, with only 9 of the 24 clubs represented here today having taken part last season, highlighting the true competitiveness of European competition. We'll also have a first-time participant, the Odense Bulldogs from Denmark. So a lot to look forward to. And of course, to conduct the draw, we're going to need some help. We're thrilled to have a few distinguished guests who also happen to be champions themselves to help us out this afternoon. But before I introduce them, I'd like to ask you, the viewers, to share your thoughts with us. We have an online poll open right now for you to answer, and we'd like to know which country you think the next CHL champions will come from. Do you think Zurich can retain their crown for Switzerland, or will it be returned to the Nordics for this year's winner? Or perhaps a new club will take center stage and claim the crown. We'll find out. Visit championshockeyleague.com, get voting, and we'll be sure to present the results a little bit later on in the program. Well, our first special guest is one of the most successful and recognizable athletes in the world, a true legend in heptathlon. With 3 World Championship gold medals and an Olympic gold in 2004, she proved to be one of the most prominent figures in international sport. Her versatility and discipline made her one of the all-time standout athletes of her generation. Please welcome Carolina Klüft. Carolina, such an honor to have you join us today.
And I'm honored to be here.
As
Thank
I
you.
just read off, you have a very decorated resume, but it's now been over 10 years since you retired back in 2012.
That's
so
true.
for all of us, what have you been up to since then, transitioning into this new stage of your life?
Well, I've been quite busy, I think.
Not surprised.
But I will say kids is the common word. I have 3 kids on my own since I retired. And I also work with kids, trying to get kids more physical active and eating better food in Sweden. So I work with a foundation called Generation Pep. It's an initiative from the Crown Prince's couple in Sweden. So we try to make it easier for children in Sweden to be more physical active and eat better food, because it's, of course, a big challenge for us and for other countries that we have a more sedentary behavior from both grown-ups and the kids, and we want every kid to have the opportunity to be part of sport, for example, why not ice hockey, or some other game or sport or physical activity.
Phenomenal, and love that you're helping the next generation. Now, of course, Sweden is known for its strength in athletics, also in ice hockey. So do you have any personal connection to the sport?
Well, I do. I grew up with sport in the family, of course, and my dad is a big ice hockey fan, even if he didn't play himself. He's always been watching the game, and we have been following big championships always. I had my first memory from the Olympic Games in Lillehammer when Peter Forsberg had this amazing penalty shot. And I also have followed the HV71, who's my team in Sweden. I still follow them. They have struggling a bit lately, but I'm still a big fan.
That's true fan support.
And one of my daughters actually do ice hockey, so 2 of them actually, but the youngest is just 5 years old. But the 7-year-old is doing ice hockey, and she loves it. So hopefully, if we can get better circumstances for girls also to be part of the game. So I'm supporting her in the best way I can.
Wonderful. Well, you're involved in the sport in a number of different ways then, and I love your fan support. That's what a true fan is, ride or die with their team.
Definitely.
Well, Carolina, thank you so much
sure.
for your time. A round of applause, and Carolina will be back once again to help us with the pot selection.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, well, to complete our lineup, our next special guest has been a defining figure for the Belfast Giants for over a decade, both as a fearless leader on the ice and as a head coach. Under his leadership, he has guided one of the most successful eras in club history, leading the Giants to multiple championships, most recently becoming the Elite Ice Hockey League regular season champions and Challenge Cup winners. Please put your hands together for Adam Keefe.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Adam, I read off your resume. You, of course, have been a central figure to the Giants' success for several years. This being the fourth time qualifying for the CHL, what does it mean to you and both the club to play on this European stage once again?
Yeah, we didn't like missing out last year. We're real excited to be back in the Champions Hockey League. I think they do a great job of bringing some of the best hockey all across Europe to hockey fans all across Europe. So, we're real excited to be back and to get to compete against some of the best hockey teams across Europe. I mean, you can't ask for much more than that.
Well, it's been a lot of fun watching, and we know you've participated now in multiple CHL seasons. This is going to be tough, but I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you have a favorite memory that stands out?
Yeah, I think, when we first started out in the Champions League, we were just happy to be a part of it. I'm not sure what we were getting ourselves into, but, my favorite memory is definitely, the first game we played. We took Augsburg to overtime. We ended up losing that game. And then the very next night, we played the Czech champions, Liberec, and we won that one. So it was nice to get our first win in our very first weekend in the Champions League. And then, like I said, I think we were just happy to take part then, whereas now we feel that we belong, and it's no longer that we're just happy to take part.
A great memory. You do belong, and we look forward to continued success with the club. Adam, thank you so much. And again, we'll see you a little bit later on for the draw.
Cheers.
All right, now before we jump into the draw, let's take a look at a short video to remind us exactly how the draw procedure will work and how you'll be able to follow which teams will be playing one another as the draw unfolds.
The Champions Hockey League draw. The 24 participating teams will be seeded into 4 pots according to the CHL ranking, which combines their performance in the domestic league and the ranking of the league itself. Pot A will feature the CHL champions and the national champions of the highest ranked shareholder leagues. Pot B and C will be filled with the other qualified teams from the shareholder leagues, again ranked by their domestic performances and the ranking of the league in the CHL league ranking. Pot D will contain the remaining team from the lowest ranked shareholder league and the Challenger League teams. All teams out of Pot D will be drawn first. Pot A, featuring the highest ranked teams, will be drawn last. Each team is drawn against 6 opponents, 2 from each of the other 3 pots. After teams are drawn, they are allocated to predefined positions in the regular season grid. Teams will be allocated their opponents based on a pattern in connection to the positions in the regular season grid. They will always face opponents from the rows above and or below, and will always play the ones on the left-hand side at home and the ones on the right-hand side on the road. Teams positioned on the edge of the regular season grid will face teams from the opposite end. 2 teams from the same league or with the same calendar restrictions cannot be drawn against each other in the regular season. With the help of software, potential conflicts are detected during the draw. The conflicting team drawn will then be moved to the next available position in the regular season grid, and the next team drawn will fill the previous position. After the CHL draw, the complex scheduling process for the regular season takes place, accommodating all the needs of involved parties such as clubs, arenas, broadcasters, and leagues. The final schedule is published shortly after the draw on championshockeyleague.com, and the next hockey journey for fans all over Europe can begin.
All right, so we're all caught up. And again, the key thing to remember is that 2 principles will apply for this draw. First, league protection will prevent teams in the same domestic league from facing one another in the regular season. And the second principle will prevent teams with calendar restrictions from facing one another. As we're ready to begin, I'd like to welcome back all of our guests standing at their pots, and of course, Remo Elsinger, sport coordinator for the Champions Hockey League, who will guide us through any conflicts that may arise during the course of the draw. Remo, it is wonderful to have you back once again. Monica will be drawing teams from Pot A. Adam will draw teams from Pot B. Catalina will draw pucks from Pot C, and Jurgen will kick things off by drawing the first puck from Pot D. All right, Jurgen, we are up and running. Let's start that drum roll. Go ahead with puck 1 from Pot D.
From UK, Belfast Giants.
Ah, the Belfast Giants. I see Adam with a little smile on his face. They are participating in the CHL for their 4th time and have 8 national titles to their name. All right, moving right along. Puck 2, Jürgen.
From Italy, HC Bolzano.
Ah, Bolzano. Okay, competing in their 5th CHL. They also have 2 league titles to their name. Jürgen, moving right along. Let's go puck 3.
From France, Grenoble.
Ah, Grenoble, 9 national titles and participating in the CHL for their 4th time. Okay, we're seeing how things are coming to fruition. Puck 4.
From Poland, Tichy.
Ah, Tichy, participating in the CHL for their 3rd time and have 6 national titles to their name. The most recent this past year in 2025. All right, puck number 5, Jürgen.
That's going to be from Norway, Storhamar.
Ooh, okay. 9 national titles to their name as well, the most recent this past year, 2025. Okay, and last but not least, our final puck from Pot D.
Final one from Denmark is Odense Bulldogs.
Oh, the Odense Bulldogs. They are participating in the CHL for their very first time, as we alluded to earlier, having won their 1st national title this past year. All right, we're up and running. Thank you very much, Jürgen. It's time to move on to Pot C. Carolina, if you would select your first puck.
So first one is from Germany, Penguins Bremerhaven.
All right. They haven't won a national title just yet, but they qualified as the regular 3rd place team. However, I am hearing that we have a conflict, so I will turn it over to Remo.
Yes, there is a conflict due to the preconditions in the draw. We need to allocate Penguins Bremerhaven to position C4 in the grid.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, let's move right along, Carolina, with puck 2 from Pot C.
From Czechia, Mountfield HK.
Okay, participating in the CHL for the 5th time, their best finalist runner-up position. Moving right along to our 3rd puck from Pot C.
From Austria, KAC Klagenfurt.
All right, okay. Now, 32 national titles to their name. However, I am hearing we have another conflict. So, Remo, I turn it back to you.
Yes, also in this case, the draw principle applies with both preconditions, the calendar restrictions, and the league protection. Therefore, the next available position in the grid for Klagenfurt is C5.
Thank you very much. Okay, Carolina, moving right along with our next puck.
Our next team is from Finland, Ilves Tampere.
Ah, Ilves Tampere, 16 national titles to their name. Their most recent, though, a while back. However, I am hearing yet another conflict. Remo, over to you.
Yes, due to the same reasons as mentioned with the other 2 teams, we have to move Ilves Tampere all the way down to
Okay,
C6.
moving Ilves Tampere down. Carolina, continuing with puck 5 from Pot C.
From Switzerland, EV Zug.
Ah, okay. 3 national titles to their name, participating in the CHL for the 9th time and qualified as the regular season 4th place team. And let's round out Pot C with our 6th and final puck, Carolina.
From Sweden, Frölunda Gothenburg.
Frölunda Gothenburg, 5 national titles, their most recent back in 2019, and participating in the CHL for their 9th time. Carolina, thank you very much. Okay, so Pot D and Pot C have come to a conclusion. We're now halfway through the draw. A quick reminder, each club will play all the teams in the column to the left and to the right, except the clubs in the same row. So home games against the teams in the column to the left, playing away to the teams on the right. But again, no games against teams from the same row in the other pots. And don't forget, the grid effectively wraps around. So teams in column 1 will be playing at home against the teams in column 6. Okay, we're up and running. Adam, pot B is next. If you could please draw the first puck for us.
From Finland, Lukko Roma.
Rauma, participating in the CHL for their 6th time and have won 2 national titles. Although, Adam, I'm hearing we have a conflict on that, so I'm going to turn it over to Remo.
Yes, again, due to the draw principle, we need to allocate Lukko Rauma to position B3 in the grid.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving right along, back to you, Adam, for puck number 2.
From Sweden, Brunäs EF.
Ah, Brunäs, 13 national titles, their most recent back in 2012. However, we are hearing conflict once again.
Yes, once again, both principles in the draw apply, and we need to move Brunäs EF all the way down to B6.
Thank you very much. Okay, Adam, back to you. Puck number 3.
From Switzerland, SC Bern.
Ah, 16 national titles to their name, the most recent in 2019, and participating in the CHL for the 7th time. However, we have yet another conflict.
Yes, in this case, the league protection applies, as Bern cannot face league competitors Zug, and therefore need to be moved to position B2.
Okay, thank you very much. Adam, back to you. Puck 4.
From Czechia, Sparta Prague.
Sparta Praha, 8 national titles to their name. They were semifinalists of the 2024-2025 season. However, we have another conflict.
Yes, in this case, it's the other precondition, the calendar restrictions. Therefore, we need to move Sparta Prague to B4.
Moving Sparta Praha. Thank you very much, Remo. All right, Adam, back to you. Puck 5.
From Germany, ERC Ingolstadt.
Participating in the CHL for their 5th time and have 1 national title to their name back in 2014. Now for our 6th and final puck from Pot B.
From Austria, Red Bull Salzburg.
12 national titles, their most recent this past year, 2025, and participating in the CHL for the 10th time. All right, things are coming to fruition. We're starting to get a better picture of how the season ahead is going to look. Monica, I will turn it over to you. We're allocating the highest ranking clubs in Pot A. Kick us off with Puck 1.
From Germany, Eisbären Berlin.
Eisbären Berlin, 26 national titles, their most recent this past year. However, I'm hearing another conflict.
Yes, again, the draw principle applies, and we need to move the Eisbären Berlin to A4.
Thank you very much. Okay, Monica, I turn it back to you.
From Finland, Kalpa-Kuopio.
Kalpa-Kuopio participating in the CHL for their 5th time and have 1 national title won this past year. However, Monica, before you pull our next puck, I am hearing another complex. Remix.
Yes, correct. Apart from A6, every other position would cause a league conflict. Therefore, A6 is the only available position for Kalpa.
Thank you, Remo. Okay, Monica, back to you for puck number 3 in Pot A.
From Czechia, Kometa Brno.
Okay, 14 national titles, their most recent this past year as well. Things are really starting to get interesting now, aren't they? Monica, let's go back to you for puck number 4.
From Switzerland, the reigning champions, ZSC Lions Zurich.
Okay, but before I share any information, we have yet another conflict. Busy day for you today, Remo.
Yes, it is. Again, the draw principle with both preconditions apply, and therefore A5 is the only available position for the ZSC Lions.
Moving it over. Thank you very much. All right, Monica, puck number 5 from Pot A, as our season is almost
From
finished.
Sweden, Luleå Hockey.
Okay, love it. Luleå Hockey, 2 national titles, their most recent this past year as well, and participating in the CHL for their 6th time. However, another conflict.
The last one. Again, the league protection applies, as Luleå cannot face league competitors Frölunda Gothenburg. Therefore, they need to be on A3.
Okay, thank you very much. And take us home, Monica, the final puck from Pot A.
From Switzerland, Lausanne HC.
They've yet to win a national title, but are participating in the CHL for their 4th time qualifying as your regular season winners. All right, on that note, there you have it. The draw's been completed. We have our competition lineup for the regular season. So we're going to take a look at the opponents for a couple of teams. And if there's any initial matchups that perhaps caught your attention, let's have a look here. Adam, how would you say it's looking for you? Anything that stands out?
We're going to get real familiar with Switzerland, it looks like. So, I mean, it's obviously a beautiful country, and we're going to get to see the best of it.
Okay, is there a specific matchup that you are most looking forward to this upcoming season?
Yeah, but
We're seeing the Belfast Giants pictures right now, so that's who Adam can look forward to, both home and away.
yeah. following Adams, I would say it's going to be interesting to see them play against Everzug, I would say. Even though it's Switzerland, but and again Brynäs, I would say it's interesting matchups to see them and go with the fans, I would say.
Okay, and Jürgen, what about Kalpakopio? What are you looking forward to in their upcoming fixtures this season?
Yeah, let's see the graphics for that, I would say, but you see the
Okay, so our home fixtures
Yeah.
and our away. Is there a specific matchup that you
I
are
would say
eagerly awaiting, Jürgen?
good to see them to go to Norway to play
Yep.
against Storhamar, but also against, I would say, the Ingolstadt part. I think it's rather good matchups here, really good games.
Okay. Well, Carolina, you are our decorated athlete amongst us, so I'm going to turn the attention over to you. When you take a look at the upcoming season, is there a matchup that you're most anticipating?
Well, since I'm living closest to Brynäs, because my team is not in Champions Hockey League this year, I will of course look extra for them and hope they're going to have a exciting group there and good games.
Okay, fantastic. And Adam, we touched on you, and we also looked ahead to the Belfast Giants and what their season holds ahead. Monica, let's finish up with you right now. Taking a look at the regular season draw, is there a specific matchup that you are most eagerly awaiting?
Yeah, I think we could maybe have a look at the path of ZSC Zurich, our reigning champions, if we have prepared that graphic. They have exciting opponents, like, for example, Sparta Prague, a big brand in Czechia, also former finalists. Or we have Brynäs, the new team. I think you see here also how it's connected. We have that seen before. I think there's many exciting opponents up for them. Or also Kalpa, the new Finnish champion. So I think exciting journey for them. So yeah, looking forward for the journey of the new champion, or the reigning champion.
Okay, a lot to look forward to. I didn't put any of you on the spot yet with predicting a winner, just the matchups you look forward to, but that might come later. You might have a few questions from the crowd. Now, before we go, we also want to take a look at the results of our viewer poll. Which country do the viewers think the next CHL champions will come from? We asked everyone. Let's see the answers. Dun, dun, dun. Do we have any predictions first of what we think, though, the results will hold? Oh, interesting. Okay. Adam, I see a little smirk from you, so I'm going to turn to you. Disagree or agree with our viewers at home and the voter results?
I got to agree with them. I mean, the fan base in the UK is amazing. Obviously, you know, front and center with the Belfast Giants fan support. They really enjoy their time here in the Champions League, and clearly we're voting. So good on them.
Hey, they were watching the broadcast today. 59%. That's a dominant lead. Jürgen, I see you have a little smirk over there as well. Would you agree with our strong UK 59% approval rating there?
First of all, you always have to agree with the fans, eh? They are voting, but that's why Adam made a pretty good, big impact, obviously, and that's why you went out and made all those calls. I saw you behind the net over there doing something.
Adam was working the phones beforehand.
He was working the phones, but nevertheless, I think it's good.
The work paid off. Carolina, Monica,
Absolutely.
yay, nay, what do we think? Is anything standing out amongst our viewer poll results here?
Yeah, we have a strong winner for sure.
Yeah, clearly.
Definitely. But hopefully it will be a tough game and we'll see who's going to win. But
Okay, absolutely.
UK is favorite for sure.
All right. Monica?
I think having worked with the CHL for many years, I see how excited the fan base from UK is, so it's no surprise for me. But I think there is also a good amount of other countries represented, so for sure it will be exciting on the ice, but also on social media for sure.
Yeah, give Germany a little more love. Only 4%? Come on, they can do a little bit better than that. All right, well, that concludes our draw. Can we have one more thank you to Carolina, Adam, Monica, and Jürgen, and of course, Remo, for your help. Really appreciate all of your time. And of course, thanks to all of you for watching. It was an absolute pleasure being your host. A reminder, the new CHL season will begin on Thursday, August the 28th, that you can visit the official CHL website at championshockeyleague.com for all the news and information you need about the clubs and players taking part, and for the regular season fixtures when they are announced in the very near future. Also, be sure to check out the CHL's TikTok. I know all of our panelists were on the TikTok earlier, maybe, checking out the videos, because you'll want to stay up to date with the latest from around the CHL. But from all of us here in Stockholm, thank you for watching and enjoy the upcoming season ahead.